I know I've heard that before. I didn't think I was the first one to say it. I guess, you know, when I say things, like, I think people believe me so much that they take it a different way. It's not like, it's not rap anymore at that point.
It's strange you'll frame it that way, but I know you make a reference to, Jay-Z's record, which, I respect the strategy of it all. It's a good thing I ain't got no record out though with that on there, because I'd be hot. You know what I'm saying? I'd be hot. And again, historically, I ain't never in my history not dealt with anything that make reference to me.
Let's go there. The game is so cold. I can see it in his eye. The boy is on his soul. Devil said, I'ma give you the world. I take it, plus give me a girl.
Most people remember MC Hammer for the parachute pants, the dancing, and You Can't Touch This. He was everywhere in the early 90s. But what a lot of people don't realize is how deep the industry hate for Hammer really went, and how it didn't just affect him, but his entire family. Well, one of Hammer's daughters, Akiba Burrell Hammer, is now speaking out about what really went down. And she's calling out the music industry and some major names in hip-hop for how they pushed Hammer out and tried to rewrite his legacy. And of course, Jay-Z's name comes up a lot in this story. Back in 2010, he dropped a line in a song that called out Hammer for going broke. It seemed like a quick jab, but it hit a nerve. And it wasn't the first time the industry tried to make Hammer a punchline. But the thing is, Hammer wasn't just a rapper who blew through his money. He was one of the first to take hip-hop into the mainstream. He was doing worldwide tours, landing huge endorsements, giving back to his community, and building a business that supported a lot of people. But at some point, that stopped being respected. And there's a bigger story here about how the industry decides who gets to stay relevant and who gets pushed out. And now, Hammer's daughter is exposing what that looked like from the inside, from the perspective of their family. Let's break it down.
If you make a reference to how I eat, I'ma deal with it, one way or the other. So
let's talk about where things really started to boil over between Jay and Hammer. In 2010, Jay-Z dropped a verse on Kanye's song So Appalled. And while most people were focused on his usual bragging and flexing, there was one line that hit different. Jay said, "Hammer went broke, so you know I'm more focused. Unlike Hammer, 30 million can't hurt me." Jay was clowning Hammer for losing his fortune and referencing Hammer's past financial troubles. Hammer filed for bankruptcy in 1996, claiming over $13 million in debt. So Jay is essentially flexing that even if he loses 30 million, he's rich enough and business savvy enough to bounce back, unlike Hammer. Now, the media narrative that stuck was that Hammer blew through $30 million just being reckless and overspending. But Hammer later explained that the reason he had to file for bankruptcy was because he was trying to help his community and provide jobs.
Everybody knew that I had 200 employees. It wasn't no secret. So what you think, I was paying them in hamburgers? Somebody was paying that payroll. I was doing that. So if you wanted to now say the story is MC Hammer just pissed his money off when you knew that I was employing 200 people from my community, it said more about you than it did about me. We were dying. This is the real thing. It's not fake. Go and look at the rate in my city at the time. Some of the people that were dying were my classmates, my neighbors. So when I had the Hammer thing, I would literally call home. I'd be on the road. I'd call home. I say, "Hey, what John doing?" "What you mean what John doing?" "John dead." I said, "What you mean John is dead?" I just talked to him 2 weeks ago. He said, "Yeah, John dead," and Sam told him. Sam lived 2 houses down from John. Let me speak to Sam then. "Hey, Sam, man, check this out, man. Why?" "Well, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Why don't you come out here on the road with me, man? I can give you $30,000 a year. I can't give you what you're making on the block, but man, I can't have you keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you killing the very cats we grew up with." Well, 10 turned to 20.
And this is the story of MC Hammer that no one talked about. He's one of the few entertainers who gives back to his community in a real way, not just when it benefits his image. Now, another thing you should know about Hammer is that he doesn't stay quiet when someone disrespects his legacy. So just days after Jay-Z dropped that line on So Appalled, Hammer was calling Jay out and saying he crossed the line. And he wasn't just mad about the joke, he saw it as part of a bigger pattern. Like, why is it always easy for the industry to clown his financial laws, but not talk about the ways he changed the game and tried to help his people?
Y'all know what this is, and you know how I get down. Now, I'm supposed to tell you your thing is over with. And you gonna come out here, and I want you to be right here with me. I'm not hiding.
But then Hammer went a step further. He dropped a whole diss track, Better Run Run, and in the video, he portrayed Jay-Z as someone working with the devil, literally.
Let's go there. The game is so cold. I can see it in his eye. The boy is on his soul. Devil said, I'ma give you the world. I take it, plus give me a girl. Mr. Devil, can you give me a sign? He said, throw the rock up. That's one of mine. Let's go. Just fire.
talk about the lyrics to Better Run Run. Hammer raps, "I could see it in his eyes. The boy sold his soul. Devil said, I'ma give you the world. I'll take it. Plus give me a girl. Mr. Devil, can you give me a sign? He said, throw the rock up. That's one of mine." Here, Hammer is implying that Jay-Z's famous diamond-shaped rock sign is basically a version of the Masonic hand sign or the triangle/pyramid symbol. And then there's also the visual symbolism in the video. A Jay-Z lookalike is running through a forest, hunted like prey by someone in a demon mask. It's giving Illuminati/Bohemian Grove vibes. But you know what's even a bigger deal than this video? It's the fact that Jay-Z didn't respond to this. Pretty much sums it up. Now, Jay's fans laughed it off and said Hammer's diss was so corny that Jay was too embarrassed to even respond. But even if that's true, the difference between Hammer and Jay is Hammer is real. Jay-Z hides behind the microphone and avoids dudes in public. Hammer, on the other hand, well, let's just say that rappers who are the biggest gangsters don't need to rap about how gangster they are. See, here's the thing a lot of people miss, especially younger fans. They look at the flashy outfits, the dancing, the Too Legit to Quit videos, and they think Hammer was soft. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, Hammer was one of the most respected, feared dudes in the game during his prime. Not because of how he rapped, but because of who he was connected to and how he moved.
You know, Hammer was a big dog, man. He got respect in the streets. He came from a respected crew. They handled business, him and his brother Lewis and the crew. Without spending any money, Hammer could have told some people to him the up. I know who Hammer was affiliated with, and he wouldn't have to pay. We from Oakland.
You be talking, talking about Hammer, but run up on him.
Hammer beat you.
I bet he'll beat your mother
ass. Run up on Hammer.
That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Oh, you gonna talk about my dancing pants? I see you. And he will whoop out.
And after Redman's interview, I will never disrespect Hammer.
Hammer was a guy with deep ties to the streets, especially in Oakland. Before the fame, Hammer had already been around real hitters. He ran with actual gangsters, not just in music videos, but in real life. And when he blew up, he didn't leave that behind. He brought his people with him. He put them on payroll. His security team wasn't just bodyguards. It was folks who grew up with him, people with real reputations.
His entourage was something like I never seen in my life. Like, it was literally
100 people.
More than 100 people, probably.
That's
like,
actually how he. That's actually
but it
how
was
he,
girls, guys, gangsters, dancers,
everybody.
Everybody.
I go right on Hammer because they said he is that real, and it was like loaded.
So when Jay-Z took that shot at Hammer, yeah, it was bold, because everyone who knew the real Hammer knew he wasn't someone to play with. He might have been a pop star on the surface, but behind closed doors, he had more street credibility than half the rappers claiming it at the time. This was a guy who didn't need to bark on records because people already knew what time it was. But here's the thing about Jay-Z. He's way sneakier than Hammer when it comes to beefs, and he's basically the type to throw a stone and then hide his hands. And according to one of Hammer's daughters, Akiba, the way the industry treated her dad wasn't just unfair, it was personal. And it didn't just damage his career, it hit their entire family. Akiba talked about how painful it was growing up watching her dad, the man who gave everything to the culture, get mocked constantly in the media. And the Jay-Z line stung, not just for Hammer, but for his kids. Akiba said that it was really hard seeing her dad painted as a joke all over again, just when the next generation was starting to understand what he really did for the culture. And it wasn't just some random rapper dissing Hammer. It was Jay-Z, one of the most powerful voices in hip-hop, trying to completely erase Hammer's legacy. And here's another thing no one talks about. While Jay-Z was out here taking shots, Hammer was focused on raising his kids, staying married, and building something solid. Say what you want about Hammer, but he's been with the same woman since before his fame. He raised his children outside the spotlight, and he kept his household tight.
This couple been married for 38 years. An American rapper and dancer Stanley K. Burrell, also known as MC Hammer, is aged 61. He got married to his wife Stephanie Fuller in 1985. The couple shares 5 children together. They first met at a church revival meeting. And still now are still together and happy.
Now, as for Jay-Z, well, we all know that story. You've got cheating scandals, confirmed infidelity, rumors about multiple secret love children, his longtime friendships with Diddy and R. Kelly, and then there's also the history of Jay talking to young women like Aaliyah and Foxy Brown. So when you look at it from the outside, one man gets laughed at for falling off financially while helping his community and staying loyal to his family. The other one gets praised as a mogul and as an example of black excellence, while cheating on his wife and teaming up with people who exploit exploit his community. And if you ask Hammer's daughter, the industry got it backwards. As one fan put it, for a child, Hammer's such a proper inspiration. Not like we know who. Honorable man, a man America can be proud of. Not one who needs locking up until they are proven to be safe around women and children. Bless. And someone else wrote, it's effed up they even trying to talk ish on Hammer for being broke, because the only reason he was broke is because he gave jobs to hundreds of people that he didn't even need. He gave all his people in the hood jobs. He gave everybody he F with a job. He would be super rich today if he didn't blow all that money on his people. They should have been giving him nothing but respect for doing that. Much love to Hammer. Well, let me hear your thoughts on this MC Hammer versus Jay-Z beef. Do you think Jay-Z crossed the line with that Hammer diss, or was it just rap? Why do you think the industry never gave Hammer his flowers? Leave your comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.